How's it going? Welcome back. So a bit of a hardtail update really. It's all good, although it hasn't really moved on an awful lot. But you might be able to see behind me here the America. I'm just in the shed, sort of a bit annoying this weekend. America needed new chain and sprockets. It's on the same set that it's been on it since we got it, so they've lasted pretty well. They were supposed to arrive on, well, I've actually had two issues. I've had Demon Tweaks were going to send some out, but their distributor, whoever they were doing it, have cocked up the order, so there wasn't going to be any until like October. So I reordered them through, it was either M&P. They were supposed to arrive by Friday, but they're not going to be here till Monday. But there you go. At least I can get the bike up. It's kind of ready to, I've taken the old chain and sprocket and the wheel off, so I can just get the other stuff on when I come back from work tomorrow night, hopefully, if they've arrived. Anyway, so hardtail, I thought I'd do a little update on that just because I've been getting a few messages asking where we're at with it, and yeah, although it hasn't really progressed an awful lot, there's a few things I'm still always just ticking things over, and I think it, like I've said before in other videos, it's probably what with the XJ600 sort of thing going on, it might end up being a bit more of a winter project I get into, although I have just booked myself about a week off work for a bit of a holiday, so I might, hopefully I can devote a bit of time. That's coming up towards the end of August, so we'll see. But bike's inside the house, so I'll take you back in and just go over a couple of things that I'm mulling over at the moment. Right, so update on the hardtail. First thing you might notice is you'll go, hang on a minute, weren't those exhausts on the America? They were, but they've now gone back on here. The America, obviously where my finger is, that's got like the forward controls. There was a bit of an issue with my leg, especially on roundabouts, just touching on the exhaust at about this section here, which is a bit of a pain, but nothing you can solve with a heat shield or a bit of wrap or something. But that wasn't the main reason to change back. The main reason, the sound just didn't feel right to me on the America. I just prefer the sound of the cocktail shakers on there. So, and I think stylistically this looks a lot better on this one, and probably if my leg's there, as I've found before, there's less chance of leg getting burnt with the heat shields there. Whether it is those heat shields, I don't know. So the main reason for changing back was the sound wasn't quite what I wanted, not as good, which didn't really then mean it warranted fighting around doing a heat shield here. Also, the bike didn't run great. It would have needed tweaking on the carbs as well to rejet it or do something to get it running, you know, properly as well as it does at the moment. So with all those things in, yeah, it just wasn't worth it, and I do think they look better on this bike. So that's that. Seat, that's the seat I referred to quite a few videos back. Got it at an absolute steal on eBay. It's a built well slim line, I think, not the thin line. And I do kind of quite like the shape of it. I got some really cheap springs off eBay, just for mocking stuff up mainly. I don't know if this is the seat that will end up on here. I kind of like the shape. As you can see where the mounting points are there. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's a lot of working out to do yet. I've got this little kind of front pivot hinge as well for it. I think the mounting point is about there-ish. So I've got to work out with the tank and lots of stuff to work out. I mean, this is slightly adjustable on the underneath, in that you can slide them out. You can obviously move that hinge. So, I mean, if it was there, it's going to be there, but you can see that's starting to get into the place of the tank, and I can't really move the tank forward because that's where it is. So that might need some working out. Let's try and get that on here. No, I tell you what, I'll put it down here, one-handed. rather than scratch everything. So yeah, so that needs a little bit of working out, and I kind of actually no, we'll put it back on. I've kind of got my heart set on a horizontal tuck and roll finish on here as well, so I think I still may end up making my own perhaps, but that still needs thought. What else? Where else? Updates. Oh yeah, I've put the DNA pods back on here. I think that style of pod filter is more in keeping. This particular one that was on the America fits in here really nicely. Obviously, a little bit of a gap there, to where the rear section comes down, so it's got to miss that. They fit really nicely. They'll need a clean and a re-oil. I've just put some ram airs on the America, which are fine, but I think this is more in keeping with what I want it to look like on here. The rear guard, obviously that needs sort of working out. I obviously need to chop it at this end. It's not going to end there, I don't think. At the moment, my gut feeling is, if I take a line, I'll probably come there to about there where my hand is, just over where the rear axle is. Straight line up, just a bit over. Quite short and bobbed. Quite like the brushed finish. As a contrast with that, just have the tank as the colour. That's a brush finish. I'm thinking about a very short, tiny little aluminium brushed guard on the front, which is a bit usual because normally you'd probably run a little bobber without, but maybe a real short one just to balance that, I think. The other thing I've got to look at on here is, this is where, obviously, where I'm going to mount at this end. Again, with the seat, I might end up having to put a different kind of seat mount post in here with some bungs for the seat springs, and then some other bungs to drill through and mount the mudguard to. But also some mudguard stays here, which will mount off there. Which brings me round to my next slight conundrum, if you will. Obviously, I've been running the up and over caliper bracket for ages. Whilst this was me only an all-weather round bike, it just made more sense to have a caliper up rather than slung underneath as it comes stock, which effectively acts as a bucket, just catching all the shit. So that's there. Unfortunately, it does mean that we have a slight possible fouling issue, so that the mudguard stay can't go straight up, so it's either got a dog leg around the caliper, which might look a bit shit. Maybe have a spacer out here, just have that coming out slightly wider, which again, I just move the camera and can't help but feel that if I was looking at it from behind and there was a kink out, that would just annoy me. So am I going to possibly have to compromise and go back to the underslung caliper to keep that clean? Which isn't no major thing, as this is going to have a slightly more sheltered life. It's not going to be out in all weathers, so maybe I can afford then to have the underslung caliper. What else? Thinking about the dummy electrics box. Possibly I'm thinking maybe go horseshoe, or maybe keep that. Again, these are just things that I'm mulling over. I'm just wondering if that is going to be big enough for all the stuff I need to put in. So we shall see. The other thing I've got to work out is the I was going to say elimination of the oil cooler. Really, it's a relocation of the oil cooler in the frame rails. Still need to work on that. And the other mass of things that need doing. The tank needs trimming and the mounting point worked out. Speedo, lights. Just a ton of stuff, really. Which is great. It's a very nice project, but it just means, especially at the moment, as you can see, I've got loads of XJ stuff still around. That's kind of Stu's back off holiday, so we're kind of getting back on that when we can, so that's taken up some time. Oh, incidentally as well, I stripped the tank today, and I've got to say, that stuff, recommend it. I had absolutely no confidence that that was going to touch the paint at all. Whether it's because it's like an early to mid 90s, I don't know how the lacquers and paints have changed, but that stuff definitely did work. You still have to go in and do some sanding. It's not like it doesn't just like wipe all the paint off. There is a little bit of elbow grease involved, but if you want to get a head start and make your life a lot easier, I am very impressed with that stuff. Anyway, digress. That's the tank. It's a hardtail video. So yeah, so there is a long list of things to do. Can't remember if I mentioned I have booked myself a week off work at the end of August. So maybe if funds allow and time allows and bloody blah, I can concentrate on this bad boy and get some videos in. If not, what with all the things that are taking my time up at the moment, maybe this will be a bit more of a cold winter months project, as I think I said before. But it's certainly not stalled. Well, it has kind of stalled, but not. It's kind of logistically working things out. Stuff's still ticking over in my brain. It's just not video worthy at the moment. But we're getting there. Well, we're not. It stopped. But I'm hoping to get back on the saddle again fairly soon. And yeah, so that's where she is at the moment. Still very much in its infancy, but the cogs are still whirring.